For years, we've been told that the 401k is the best way to save for retirement. Employers push it, financial advisors recommend it, and the government gives tax breaks to encourage people to use it. On the surface, it sounds like a no-brainer. You put money in, your employer might chip in some extra, and it grows over time, supposedly setting you up for a comfortable retirement. But what if the 401k isn't as great as everyone says? What if it's actually full of hidden downsides that most people don't realize until it's too late? The truth is, the 401k is far from the perfect retirement plan, and if you don't understand its flaws, you could end up with far less money than you expected when you actually need it. A huge selling point of the 401k is the employer match, which companies love to advertise as free money. But in reality, that money isn't actually free. Shocking, right? Employers consider their matching contributions as part of your total compensation package, meaning they might be paying you a lower salary to offset their contributions. On top of that, many companies use vesting schedules, which require employees to stay at the job for a certain number of years before they fully own their employer's contributions. If you leave too soon, you lose some or all of that money. The most common type of 401k vesting schedule is a graded vesting schedule, where employees gradually gain ownership of employer contributions over time. A typical example follows a 6-year schedule, where an employee becomes 20% vested after 2 years, 40% after 3 years, 60% after 4 years, 80% after 5 years, and fully vested at 6 years. If an employee leaves before reaching 100% vesting, they only keep the vested portion of employer contributions, while any unvested funds are forfeited. It's like saying, you're not going to be fully compensated unless you stay with us. This means that the employer match isn't nearly as generous as it seems, and for employees who frequently change jobs, it can be completely worthless. Another huge problem with 401ks is the hidden fees that eat away at your returns over time. Most people don't even realize how much they're paying, because these fees are buried in fine print. Administrative fees, management fees, and expense ratios all reduce the amount of money you actually get to keep. Unlike a regular brokerage account where you can shop around, choosing from endless low-cost index funds, most 401k plans limit you to a handful of pre-selected mutual funds, many of which come with higher than average fees. A 0.5% fee might not sound like a big deal, but over the course of 30 or 40 years, it can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost growth. With a $1 million portfolio, a 0.5% fee costs $5,000 per year, which is significant. These fees quietly chip away at your savings, leaving you with far less than you should have when you retire. The tax benefits of a 401k are another area where people get misled. We're told that contributing pre-tax dollars is a great way to reduce taxable income today, and that we'll be in a lower tax bracket when we retire. But that assumption doesn't always hold up. If tax rates go up in the future, which has been the trend, you could end up paying far more in taxes on your withdrawals than you would have if you had just invested in a Roth IRA or a brokerage account instead. Additionally, 401k withdrawals are taxed as ordinary income, not as capital gains. This means that instead of paying a lower long-term capital gains tax rates that are usually around 15%, but could be as low as 0% for a married couple earning less than $94,000, retirees could be paying anywhere from 10% to as much as 37% in taxes. So while it might seem that you're getting a great deal now, you could end up handing over a huge chunk of money to the IRS when you actually need it. If you ever need to access your money before retirement, a 401k is one of the worst places to have it. The entire system is designed to lock up your savings until you're at least 59 and a half, which may work for those following a traditional retirement timeline, but it's a major problem for anyone who wants to retire early. If you ever want to withdraw money before reaching that age, you'll get hit with a 10% penalty on top of paying regular income taxes on that withdrawal. This means that if you want to leave the workforce in your 40s or 50s, your 401k savings will be largely off limits unless you're willing to take a large financial hit. Even if you don't plan to retire super early, life happens, whether it's a medical emergency, a new investment opportunity, or an unexpected financial need. And having your money trapped in a 401k can leave you with few good options. While there are some exceptions that allow penalty-free withdrawals, such as for medical expenses or for a first-time home purchase, the process is full of complicated rules and restrictions. Some people try to work around this by taking a 401k loan, which allows them to borrow against their savings, but this comes with risks too. If you leave your job before paying it back, the outstanding balance is often considered an early withdrawal, meaning you could suddenly owe thousands in taxes and penalties all at once. This makes a 401k a terrible place to keep money if you value flexibility, since you're constantly at the mercy of government-imposed rules that dictate when and how you can use your own money. For those who want to retire early, this list of rules makes 401ks nearly useless. The entire point of financial independence is to have control over your money and your time, yet 401ks force you to play by someone else's rules. Unlike a brokerage account or a Roth IRA, which allow for penalty-free access to contributions and long-term capital gains tax advantages, a 401k limits your options and makes it difficult to access your wealth when you need it most. Another major drawback of 401ks is their relatively low contribution limits, which can be a serious barrier for anyone looking to build significant wealth. The maximum annual contribution for 2025 is $23,500 for those under 50. While this might seem like a generous amount at first glance, it pales in comparison to other investment options. A taxable brokerage account, for example, has no contribution limits, allowing investors to put away as much as they want without being restricted by government-imposed caps. Self-employed people also have access to options like a solo 401k and SEP IRAs, which allow for much higher contributions. The reality is that for anyone aiming to accumulate substantial wealth and achieve financial independence, a 401k alone simply won't cut it. The contribution limits make it difficult to maximize tax-advantaged savings, forcing investors to look elsewhere if they truly want to grow their wealth without restrictions. To make matters worse, even when you finally reach retirement age, the government still doesn't let you control your money completely. Once you turn 73, you're required to start withdrawing a certain percentage of your 401k every year, whether you need the money or not. These are called required minimum distributions, or RMDs, and they can create major tax headaches for retirees. Let's assume a hypothetical investor has one 401k or IRA with an account balance of $100,000 as of December 31st of the prior year. To calculate the RMD the year they turn 73, they would use a life expectancy factor of 26.5. So the RMD would be $100,000 divided by 26.5, or roughly $3,800. If you don't take out enough money, you could face a huge penalty on the amount you were supposed to withdraw. On top of that, RMDs can push you into a higher tax bracket, increasing your Medicare premiums and even causing your Social Security benefits to be taxed more heavily. Unlike other investment accounts where you can leave your money untouched for as long as you want, a 401k forces you to play by the government's rules, often at your own expense. With all of these downsides, it's worth asking, are there better options for retirement savings? In many cases, the answer is yes. A Roth IRA, for example, allows for tax-free growth and tax-free withdrawals in retirement, and it doesn't have required minimum distributions. However, a Roth does come with low contribution limits, and it doesn't provide tax breaks for the year that you contribute. A brokerage account gives you complete control over your money, with no contribution limits and lower tax rates on long-term investments. But again, no tax breaks when you contribute. If you're self-employed, a solo 401k or SEP IRA can offer much higher contribution limits with fewer restrictions. Real estate investing is another option that can generate passive income without the same restrictions of a traditional retirement account. Even with all of its flaws, the 401k isn't completely worthless, especially for those who might not save for retirement otherwise. For many workers, it's the most straightforward and convenient way to start investing since contributions are taken directly from their paycheck before they even have a chance to see the money. This out-of-sight, out-of-mind approach makes it easier to build long-term savings without much effort. Plus, while employer matches aren't always as generous as they seem, there's still extra money for those who stay at their jobs long enough to fully earn them. Without the structure of a 401k, plenty of people might never take the initiative to invest at all. Lastly, there are some tax benefits, but it depends on several factors. Ultimately, the 401k isn't a total scam. If your employer offers a match and the plan includes low-cost index funds and a reasonable vesting schedule, it can still be a decent way to save. But it's far from the perfect, one-size-fits-all retirement solution that many believe it to be. Between the high fees, tax drawbacks, and rigid restrictions, you're essentially locking up your money on someone else's terms. It's smart to complement a 401k with the use of other investment accounts. Otherwise, you might reach retirement only to realize the financial security you expected was just a cleverly marketed illusion.